I think like the rest of the world, the horse racing industry is having to adapt, and who knows if the changes that are current right now are going to be the changes that we're living with. I mean, I have a real concern that we're living on borrowed time. I hope I'm wrong. The model shows that we can get by with just simulcast money, so that makes us unique, and it gives us a real opportunity because a lot of people are at home and looking for something to do, and there's no sports other than us. But at the same time, we've got a very serious situation with the coronavirus, particularly here in New Orleans, maybe more so in New Orleans than other places in the nation. But that is first and foremost, and we're being careful and cognizant of any changes.
Of course, horses are living, breathing athletes, and you can't just stop and start on them on a dime or a switch. What impact does that have on a racing stable with, you're racing through Saturday here, but beyond that, we don't know. Normally you would go to Kentucky, race at Keeneland. They're shut down. Who knows when Churchill opens?
Right. It's a work in progress. I think we all recognize that. The two things that we're doing in the stable are, number one, really trying to follow the protocols of what's been given to us by the commander-in-chief and how we take care of ourselves and how we work around each other. But the second thing we're doing is we're trying to get a good understanding of economically how we can or can't make money with our horses through racing opportunities. And so that's constantly shifting. Keeneland canceling their meet just happened yesterday, and so we're trying to focus on the meets that are going to run and see if we can't run there. But I think that's ever changing too. So it's a very, very frustrating time. I know for my owners, for me as the trainer who's responsible for their investments, it's a frustrating time as well. I'm just trying to keep up with everything that's happening.
Do you look down your shed row and see if you maybe have a maiden winner 3-year-old that maybe could make the Derby at this point? Or?
Yeah, I'm not even thinking like that. Right now I'm thinking about, how to get things as good as they can be for my owners and for my athletes, for my horses.
When you have a horse like Serengeti Empress coming off a big win Saturday at Oaklawn, how does it change preparation? I mean, you're looking at the Apple Blossom, but you're assuming that they're going to run the Apple Blossom
right
in the middle of April.
Right. So in the short term, it doesn't change anything because she's going to get a few days off before she starts training again. So, that's not the problem. And really, yeah, of course it would change things for the Apple Blossom, but I like to look at it another way. I got an opportunity to run this past Saturday with her. She won a big race. I feel blessed that we got that opportunity.
You've got 3 horses running in this Saturday. How big is it that the Fairgrounds is going to have their showcase Louisiana Derby card?
Well, I think it's very important. I'm really, quite frankly, I'm stunned that the Derby's been moved to September, but I do understand why. And if we can get by the Fairgrounds here and get the Louisiana Derby in, even though I'm not participating in that, I think it's very important to the commitment Churchill Downs Inc. has made to not only the horsemen, but to the community. So hopefully that happens. But again, I know things are ever changing, and look, I worry that we're not going to get the race in. I hope I'm wrong.
What was your reaction when you heard the Derby September 5th?
Well, I mean, I get it. Look, the one thing about Churchill Downs, on those 2 days, they sell a lot of tickets to a lot of different spots in the track. Everything's sold in advance, so they're really not in a position to run that race with no crowd as we're able to do on the everyday basis. So for the people that are worried about Churchill Downs opening and running regular races, I could see it easily happening with no crowds at first, and then bringing the crowds in as the coronavirus hopefully subsides. But with the Churchill Downs, with the Derby, and with the Oaks, it just wasn't something that we're going to be able to do, and I understand that.
You're a Louisville guy. It's going to seem strange. It's also football season.
Yeah.
Which you don't have in the first Saturday in May.
First thing I did was see who LSU's playing that weekend. Fortunately, they're playing a cupcake, so I'll stay in Louisville for the races.